right on. Well, I have a mini review myself,
All right,
Bob.
let's hear it.
Let me pull it up. So I caught up on The Killing season 1.
Oh, okay.
I ended up with a 3.5 out of 5, and here's what I said. A hard one to review, especially briefly. I liked a lot of it. Enos as detective, many of the other performances, propulsive plot-driven pace, but the finale really is bizarre enough that it manages to ruin the already problematic story. In the end, it's obvious the show hasn't been playing fair.
Ooh, that's bad news for me. I don't like shows that don't play fair. I mean, I gave up on Lost after season one because I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. This is going to be
Yeah,
a load of bullshit.
so yeah, I mean, it's the story of a police murder investigation, and it weaves in the stories of the victim's family, and it also has connected a political campaign that appears that it has some connection to the murder, but we don't know how much. Created by Venus Sood, starring Mireille Enos and Joel Kinnaman, and it just started its third season on AMC, so I'm catching up to see if I want to join the current bandwagon. Um, but yeah, I want to emphasize that I started off really liking The Killing, and by about episode 10 or 11, I was thinking, hey, this show is really pulling it off. I really like Mireille Enos as the work-obsessed detective whose family life suffers. Normally that's the grizzled old dude detective, but she
Right.
she does it great. Um, and Joel Kinnaman, his character starts off kind of weird, but then grows on you a lot as a partner. And the stuff from the grieving family is unlike the usual police procedural, and it's really well acted. So it's great. But you're jumping in there?
Nope, nope. I'm waiting.
Okay.
Huh?
But you start to realize as you watch that the show is just not playing fair, like I said. So, I mean, you know how a great mystery, or even some show like Mad Men, manages to give you all the clues as to what's coming, but it still surprises you because you may or may not have put the clues together?
Right. Yes.
Well, The Killing, time after time, it just sets you up to think one thing, then it just pulls this huge curveball to make you realize you're wrong, except there's no way you could have known about that in advance.
That sounds lame.
Yeah. And then the ending, oh, Bob. I'd heard that people were disappointed with the ending, but it's hard to describe, especially without spoiling it, of course.
Right.
The complete randomness of the ending, and it just ruins any sort of payoff it's been building up to. And it's like an ending that it's not disappointing, it actively makes it worse. I was thinking, oh,
Wow.
solid 4 stars, but then that ending, like, oh, no, dislike. Um,
How many minutes of screen time did it take for that half a star to come off?
5?
Wow,
10?
five
It was
minutes
just,
of a whole show, of a whole series, and you're like, that's it, man. You got dinged for this 5 minute fuck up.
yeah, you know, the episodes are like 45 minutes long or whatever without commercials, and like it's hitting 30, and you're like, okay, so that's how it's gonna play. All right, yeah, good, not great, not bad. All of a sudden, this little twist at the end, you're like, oh no, please tell me that did not just happen. Um, and I can actually appreciate that on some level. You know, I figure if I have a strong reaction to something, it's doing its job in some
Right.
sense. But if its job is to flip off the audience, then it was successful, and I don't think that was what it was supposed to be. Yeah, so some major flaws, but at the same time, I'll give it the mildest of recommendations.
A 3.5. Now, this is where you and I differ because I don't have the same patience for TV shows that I do for movies. So from what you're describing, this sounds like a 2.5 for Bob, and something I just probably won't check out. It doesn't feel worth it compared to a lot of other backed up stuff in the queue.
It's interesting. I can see that because I just know this about myself. I tend to be very forgiving of a subpar plot. Like plot is like down there on the list of things that I need in a TV show. But the plot has some serious flaws, and so I think most people are a little bit more interested in a more robust plot than I am, and that's its major flaw here.
I think you should clarify lest people misunderstand. Like, you mean because the characters and the cinematography and all this other stuff is so brilliant. It's not like you're just watching plotless TV shows.
Right. I'm really interested in the character development and the interesting choices of the director and the writers and the dialogue, stuff like that. But yeah. Okay. All right.